Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and it is finally time to see how Treyarch and Activision plan to handle Black Ops 7 moving forward. We learned the other day that sales are down bad. They're down horrendous, in fact. It's one of the worst launches in Call of Duty history, definitely recent Call of Duty history, and very similar to Modern Warfare 3, they're going to have to go all out with post-launch content to try to make up for all that lost revenue. They sort of backed themselves into a corner with the marketing that they used leading up to the launch of the game. They said that they would have a lot less crossovers this time around, and they also said the bundles are going to be held in check, so without their easy mode button just to make money back really quickly, they're going to have to release a ton of actual content that fans will enjoy if they planned on selling more copies and selling more battle passes. Now, of course, we are talking about Activision, and there's really nothing stopping them from pulling a complete 180 and just rug pulling the entire player base like they did with the matchmaking, but what they ended up doing today is they revealed virtually everything that's going to be coming to Black Ops 7 Season 1, and since I'm a multiplayer guy, I figured I'd cover the multiplayer side of things here in this video as a bit of news coverage. So, first things first, I want to take a look at the new multiplayer maps, right? Because maps are literally where we play the game. If the maps aren't good, then the game's not good. It's like really that simple in a shooter. And in total, we have like 6 or 7. I'm not trying to make a joke there, like actually 6 or 7 different maps to go over. And I would like to point out that this time around, they actually included the mini-map overlays as compared to before when they were trying to hide this kind of stuff from us. So when it comes to the launch of Season 1, we're going to get 4 maps. So we have Utopia, which looks okay. We then have Fate, which is going to be a small map. We then have Odysseus, also a small map, and a remake of Standoff, of course, from Black Ops 2. So 4 total maps at launch, and then post-launch with events in Season 1 Reloaded, we're then going to be getting Sleighjacked, of course, a winter version of Hijacked as part of a Christmas event. We have Yakai, I have no idea how to say that. It's going to be a small map, however. We then have a Meltdown remake, which this is one of the maps I truly loved from Black Ops 2 that I always thought was weird and never remade in any other Call of Duty game, but Meltdown's returning. And then we have a Fringe remake, and I'm sorry, but is this not literally the same Fringe remake that they just dropped back in Black Ops 6 a couple of months ago? Like, talk about double dipping here. Fringe is a fine map, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Fringe whatsoever, but it's the optics here, guys. Like, literally them just copy and pasting a map from Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7 to help pad out their numbers, and if you think that's the end of them just control-C'ing and control-V'ing things, wait until you see what we have later on here in the video. But to get back to it here, there will also be apparently what they call a map variant also coming out later on in Season 1, so overall, here's the verdict as I see it. With this season, we're going to be getting 1 new original map, then we're going to have 3 smaller, almost face-off style maps, 3 Black Ops 2 remakes, and then like variants of maps like Christmas Hijacked and things like that. So it's a lot of content, for sure, don't get me wrong, but you sort of see where I'm coming from when I say they're cutting corners to make it happen. Instead of having like 6 or 7 like fully sized original maps, which would be unheard of for the Call of Duty franchise, instead we have 1 original full-size map. Like, that's pretty much it, and the rest of them are going to be either remakes or tiny meat grinder maps similar to Face-Off, right? And I understand that smaller maps are easier to make, right? And people expect the spawns to be shit, but Call of Duty fans have been so conditioned over the course of the past couple of years to just kind of enjoy that sort of thing. Like, remember how virtually everybody only played Face-Off 24/7 all throughout the entirety of Black Ops 6, and how back in Modern Warfare 3, basically all anyone ever played was like Shipment and Shoot House and the small map mosh pit and everything, you know? These Brainrot multiplayer maps are popular because they offer the path of least resistance. Like, you get in, you probably get 50 kills, you probably die 30 times, all of them due to spawns, then you level up and you do your challenges, and one man's opinion here, and I am curious to hear what you guys think about this, I think it's better for the game overall when people play the actual game. Like, you guys know what I mean? Like, getting 10 or so headshots, 15 headshots even, while playing domination on something like Express, for example, while capping the B flag and calling in your score streaks and everything, that is way more satisfying to me than just mindlessly grinding Face-Off or Shipment, right? And I know people are going to say, well, the camos take too long, even though they like cut them in half here in Black Ops 7, but people are going to say that takes too long. Not everybody has all day to play and everything, but think of the long-term ramifications here. We've already seen it happening here within the COD franchise. By adding in these brain-rot maps, that's what fans expect to see more of, and suddenly content updates like Season 1 here are packed with small maps taking the place of regular ones. Normal game modes like Domination, you know, Team Deathmatch, Hardpoint Search, whatever the hell, have less people playing in them because so many people are just grinding Face-Off, right? This has a ripple effect of those game modes being sweatier with the rug pull matchmaking, I'm going to start calling it, that we have here in Black Ops 7 because so many people are going to be playing Face-Off, and I get that more options are better for the player base, but I miss when people played the full extent of the game's multiplayer instead of just playing like the meat grinder version of it. And a good zombies comparison here, right, would be like full-on zombies maps versus survival zombie maps. Like, sure, survival is easily far and away the best way to go through and grind your challenges quickly, but imagine if instead of them releasing full zombies maps all the time, instead all fans would get would just be like a bunch of survival maps to go and grind on. Like, sure, you'll do your challenges pretty quickly, but it hurts the overall core game mode because once your challenges are finished, all you're left with is a lot less content than you otherwise otherwise would have had. So me personally, I'm not a fan of those like really small like base-off style maps being added to the game, but in total there's like a whole bunch of maps coming with Season 1, even though only one of them is an actual new normal-sized multiplayer map. But when it comes to that Sleighjacked map here, it's going to be a part of what they call Codmas, which I still think Winter Siege was a way better name from back in Call of Duty World War II, but here's what we know so far about what Codmas is going to be. So obviously there's like the winter Christmas version of Hijacked, and then from there we're going to have the Holiday Havoc game mode. And what this is going to be is it's going to be a mosh pit where kills will give you things like faster movement, maybe faster health regen, stuff like that. But on top of everything, they're also going to be dropping in these holiday care packages, sort of similar to Drop Zone if you played that game mode way back in the day. I remember that came out in Modern Warfare 3 and that was actually really fun, but it's similar to Drop Zone. These care packages are going to come in and they're going to have score streaks in them. So kills will make your character faster, stronger, do whatever, and the care packages come in. I'm curious to see if it's going to be any fun because I'm always a sucker for holiday events. Like how many videos have I made here on the channel talking about the good old days of like Days of Summer, you know, Shamrock and Awe, Halloween, Scream, like all those old events that we used to have that kind of just suck now. It seems like they're actually kind of trying at least a little bit here with Black Ops 7. So in addition to the map in the Holiday Havoc mode, there's also going to be Snow Fight, which I think we saw back in Black Ops 6. I don't remember. It's a one life game mode where you have to pick up snowballs to eliminate other players. And then there's also going to be the Naughty and Nice event within the event, I suppose. Maybe these are just the challenges of the event. I really don't know. But what you're going to do is you're going to have Naughty challenges as well as Nice challenges. And for completing them, you're ultimately going to be getting a new light machine gun, 2 weapon blueprints. I think one's for the Peacekeeper, one's for one of the marksman rifles, the Kara, something like that. And then the animated Snowfall Universal Camo will be like the final reward of the event. So again, it does seem like they're trying a little bit harder this year as compared to previous years, but nothing compares to the old Winter Siege event that we had back in Call of Duty World War II, or even the Christmas event from Modern Warfare Remastered. Like who remembers in MWR, man, you're playing on Winter Crash and you have to do these specific challenges on Winter Crash with like the Christmas music and the snow and the lights and all that stuff, and you got a bunch of camos for all of your weapons by doing challenges on that map during the event. That was really cool. Why aren't they doing that here with Black Ops 7? Why don't they do that with something like Sleighjacked? Next up here, let's go ahead and talk about the new weapons as well as the return of weekly challenges. So of course, these are back from Modern Warfare 3 and they look incredibly similar to what we saw before, but they're still as good as ever, right? Weekly challenges are fantastic. So how it works, if you guys don't know, is each week there are going to be new challenges available across campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. And based on this image right here, it looks like if you do 6 total challenges for the week across any of those game modes, you'll then earn that week's reward, which right here it shows the return of the ballistic knife. If you earn that weekly reward 5 different times, you're then going to get the Feedin' Time animated camo for all your weapons, one of those like universal camos. And if you get the weekly reward for all 9 weeks throughout the season, you'll then get the Coral Streaks animated camo as well. And for me personally, I am really happy to see this system coming back because Sledgehammer Games did so much right with Modern Warfare 3, and a lot of it was basically just forgotten by Treyarch with Black Ops 6. You know, it's almost as if Treyarch was just going out of their way to ignore everything about Modern Warfare 3 and all the good things that Sledgehammer Games were doing. And I said it back then, I'll repeat it here one more time. Weekly challenges are one of the best newer, if you want to call them that, like newer features that Call of Duty has ever added, and they should be a part of every single Call of Duty game going forward. So I'm happy that Treyarch finally got their heads out of their asses, realized other studios can do positive things, and as a result of all that, we have the return of weekly challenges. And speaking of that, this will also be how we're going to unlock some of the new weapons that are coming in Season 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at that next, because in total, we have 7, I think, weapons, including 1 assault rifle, 2 submachine guns, 1 light machine gun, 1 sniper rifle, which will be interesting, and then we have the crossbow and the ballistic knife. And all these, of course, will come with their own prestiges and their own prestige camo rewards and things like that. 3 weapons will be available at launch. We have the Kogot 7, I think is how you say it. I have no idea. It's going to be a submachine gun, and it's going to be on page 3 of the Battle Pass. And then we have the Maddox returning from Black Ops 4, which, side note, freaking loved Black Ops 4. That was one of my favorite Call of Duty games of all time. I know it's a spicy take, but dude, I freaking love that game. But the Maddox will be returning. That'll be on page 6 of the Battle Pass. We then have the ballistic knife, which of course will be part of the week 1 challenges. We just went over the weekly challenges. And then from there, post-launch, throughout different seasonal events and things like that, we're going to be getting the So Cold. Did I say that right? Like, I wish we could just use like normal names here. It kind of looks like a saw, to be honest, but the So Cold 545 LMG, that's going to be part of the Naughty or Nice event. The NX Ravager crossbow is going to be an in-season event of some sort in Season 1. We then have the Hawker HX sniper rifle, which if you're an old school COD fan, it's pretty clear what this is. It's going to be the return of the Ballista. That's also going to be another in-season event. And then we have the Sturmwolf submachine gun, which again, another in-season event. events. So it looks like we're gonna have a bunch of these like little mini micro events similar to what we had back during Black Ops 6, but in total, 7 weapons. Again, 1 assault rifle, 2 SMGs, an LMG, a sniper, and then a couple of special weapons. I think that's actually pretty good. And if you're one of those people out there who's going for the singularity camo and like doing your camo grinds and things like that, having 2 new submachine guns, for example, means you don't have to do the launchers. You know, if you do the assault rifle plus the LMG, you can also then just skip the melee weapons if you want to do that as well, you know. So having those there is also very good if you're a camo grinder. But moving along here, we have the new score streak, which they showed in the trailer. It's called the Deadeye drone, and it's only 575 score, which means it's barely more expensive than like a counter UAV, and it lets you man this little aerial drone where you drive around with a sniper rifle and shoot at people. Honestly, it seems like it could be really annoying if it's used by a good player, especially for how cheap it is. But I suppose if you can just shoot it with your assault rifle or something and kill it in like 5 shots, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. But they're also going to be adding in new attachments via the weekly challenge system. I figure I should mention this here really quickly, where we're going to have things like akimbo shotguns become available, a suppressor that will like reduce your range but also get rid of a lot of your horizontal recoil while also keeping you off the minimap, you know, stuff like that, similar to what we saw in Modern Warfare 3 and in Black Ops 6. They're going to be doing that once again here within Black Ops 7. But speaking of Black Ops 6, one final big thing I want to go over here is they're going to be doing something called the Black Ops 6 loadout drop, and this is where things get really bad, man. Some people may look at this as a really positive thing. I can see their perspective, but for me, it's about the optics yet again, right? This does not combat the allegations whatsoever of Black Ops 7 just being a $70 DLC. They're already copy and pasting maps from Black Ops 6 in, and what they're doing here is they're basically going to be adding in a ton of stuff from Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7, just strip copy and pasting them when it comes to like equipment and score streaks and things like that. So we're talking shock charges, the impact grenade, the thermo grenade, the death machine, the dreadnought, the SAM turret, the war machine, pretty much all the lethals, all the tacticals, and all the score streaks from Black Ops 6 that were already here are going to be put into Black Ops 7 Season 1 Reloaded. This will no doubt add a shit ton of variety to the game. I can't deny that whatsoever, but it's such a copy and paste because they aren't even adding in overclocks to any of these items. One of the few like amazing new things about Black Ops 7, I would say, are the overclocks. Overclocks actually change up the game in a number of positive ways, but what they're doing here is they're just copy and pasting these things into the game, and they're not even adding in overclocks or anything like that. So they still will count for your challenges and have their own medals for you to earn and everything. So overall, I'd say it's a good thing. More content is good, but the optics of just throwing everything, like literally everything, from Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7 and not even updating them for the new overclock system will no doubt get a bunch of players calling the devs lazy and further fuel the fire of that $70 DLC narrative. And I think they could have avoided all of this if they simply would have added in, like, you know, some new gadgets, some new lethals, new tacticals, you know, new score streaks, and have them actually be original, or at the very least, stuff that's different than what we saw back during Black Ops 6, and of course, have that stuff come with their own overclocks. But hey, I suppose content, when it comes to Season 1 anyway, the biggest content season ever, I suppose content is just content, and they're going to push out anything they possibly can to make that roadmap look as big as possible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose that's pretty much the long and the short of Black Ops 7 Season 1, at least when it comes to the multiplayer. If we go back to the roadmap here, which is freaking giant, they put so many things on here. Like, if we do side-by-side comparisons with, like, older Call of Duty games, it's night and day different. But obviously, we have a lot more going on than just multiplayer, right? They're going to be expanding the end game thing for campaign, which is something I still haven't even tried out yet. And then, of course, we have Warzone and zombies. I really don't care about Warzone whatsoever, but when I do play Black Ops 7, it's mostly for the zombies. I think zombies has been really good here in, like, the modern era. Just like with Black Ops 6, I feel like zombies really carries these newer Call of Duty games anymore. And when it comes to zombies in Season 1, they're going to be adding in a whole new, like, actual zombies map. Then on top of that, a survival map in the form of Diner. And then they're going to be doing what they did with the multiplayer and just bring back a ton of stuff from Black Ops 6, like in the form of ammo mods and field upgrades and perks and gobblegums and everything like that. Like, basically everything that wasn't there at launch for Black Ops 7 will come as a content update, quote unquote, for Season 1, which is basically just all the stuff from Black Ops 6. And then, of course, we have things like Directed Mode coming out for Ashes of the Damned. So if you're somebody out there who wants that skin for doing the Easter egg early, you have until December 4th to do so. And yeah, I suppose they weren't really lying when they said this would be the biggest season in Call of Duty history. I do think they relied very heavily on remakes and stuff from Black Ops 6 to kind of make this happen, but in terms of things being added to Black Ops 7 that weren't in there before, I honestly think it could be a bit overwhelming for players at first because they're adding in really a whole lot. And I suppose it all comes down to how they space things out. And like I said back towards the beginning of the video, it really comes down to how much they're going to stick to their word about monetization monetization moving forward? Will every season be like season 1, or is it just season 1 as they're trying to save face for the horrendous launch that they had? I suppose we're gonna have to wait and see. Like, the rug pull matchmaking is better than what we had back during Black Ops 6, from my own perspective anyway. We do see a lot more bot lobbies than what we had before, but when that engagement algorithm kicks in, brother, it kicks in like wild, and suddenly you're playing in the freaking CDL. So it's certainly not the classic matchmaking that we saw back during the beta. So if they found a way to weasel their way around that, imagine what else they might do when it comes to the monetization of the game, whether it be the crossovers, the bundles, the events, and things like that. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. And as always, I'll be here with you guys every step of the way. But for right now, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I wanted to cover all the news and content updates and all that stuff for season 1. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Be sure to sub to the channel if you're new around here. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.